Hello, bonjour, goeiedag. I'm the Trini-Dutchman, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the differences between medium format film and 35mm film. For the most part, everyone is familiar with 35mm film. This is what everyone has pretty much used, all the way from amateur to a lot of professionals throughout the time, and when people think back to film photography, they think of these rolls of film. But there's actually quite a bit more to film photography than the 35mm format that everyone is used to. There is also another type of film called medium format, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. This is what a negative will look like, or the size of a negative will look like for medium format, and you can see in comparison to 35mm, it's a lot larger. Well, what does larger exactly mean? Larger means a lot of things. Larger means that if the negative is larger, or the slide film size is larger, when you want to blow it up to make an image, you will have a lot more resolution, a lot more tonality, differences in tonality, if you understand kind of what that means, and you get an overall, a technically better photograph. Now, the downside to using this medium format film that comes in these packages that's called 120 film is that you only get a certain number of photos per roll, a lot less photos per roll, I should say, in comparison with 35mm film. Now, 35mm film, you could get 24 or 36 exposures per roll. Depending on the camera, in this case, I have a Hasselblad camera. This is actually the camera that photographed Man on the Moon. And you get 12 exposures or 12 photographs per roll before you actually have to change the roll. So it can be difficult. So that's basically a little bit about the differences between the two. You have a lot larger of a negative to deal with. This is actually slide film, so I guess I am lying a little bit and cheating a little bit on this, but the negative is a lot larger, so it allows you to blow things up. The downside, though, of course, again, like I said, is you only get 12 exposures. I highly recommend that you give it a try, give it a shot. You can have a lot of fun. You can pick these Hasselblads up, but you don't even have to get a Hasselblad. You could get another medium format camera a try for a lot cheaper, like Veronica, a really good friend of mine. Howard Sandler on my Facebook also shoots medium format, and his camera is, I think, a lot cheaper than a Hasselblad, and we actually sat down and had coffee together, and I will honestly say his camera looked a lot cooler in so many respects than the Hasselblad. I know the Hasselblad is the iconic camera, kind of like everyone's like, oh my god, you have a Hasselblad, but really, at the end of the day, it's not that great. Well, it is, but I don't know. The jury's out. Leave me your comments and tell me what you think. The cool thing about a Hasselblad, though, is that it is definitely a conversation piece. If you go up to someone with one of these, you're going to get a lot more conversation than if you show up with a 35mm camera for people in the street, if you do street photography like I do. And if you go up with a DSLR, well, I mean, everyone nowadays and their cat has a DSLR. Sorry, no offense to, I love digital too. I'm actually photographing this on digital, but that's kind of the case with digital today, is it's so ubiquitous. A big shout out to millennials and the younger generation, because if it weren't for you, we wouldn't probably even have film photography in its numbers in this day and age. Because of you, you've actually been demanding, you know, people, the younger generation, I'm 41, people in their 30s and 20s have been demanding the medium format and film format, which has caused a resurgence. Now, with this coronavirus, who knows what's going to happen? That's kind of the sad thing. We may see a huge decline again. So I'm calling on all of you here, if you're watching this vlog, please support film. It's a really beautiful medium. I've been frustrated at times so much with it compared to digital. With digital, you can see the back of the screen, but then when you get those aha photographs, you know, especially if you shoot with like this Hasselblad and you get those beautiful photographs, it is some of the most breathtaking stuff that you can ever do, and it's got a different look than digital. So I'm not saying that one is better than the other, I'm just saying that they can complement each other. If you have any questions, this is just kind of my first little vlog on the differences between medium format and a 35mm. Please feel free to comment, ask me questions. If you have any critiques, I'm even open to that, as long as they're constructive. I don't want, like, you know, some mean comments. And I do speak English, French, Dutch, Anglais, Français, le Néerlandais, Engels, France, Nederlands. So feel free to write me in any of those 3 languages and I will be more than happy to write you back. Hope you have a great day from the Trini-Dutchman. Bisous, bisous. Bye.